Maybe you, just like me, don't really care about just building muscle mass or strength or endurance or skills, but you want a combination of those things. You want to be healthy and fit at 360 degrees. Well, if that is the case, then becoming a hybrid athlete is probably the best decision that you can make. But there is a problem. How do you actually make everything fit together? How do you actually combine weightlifting with running, or even with martial arts, and even maybe with calisthenics? Well, I've personally designed my own hybrid athlete program, and I did so by looking at what the ideal frequency for the different kind of workouts was, and by understanding how to basically combine everything together. And this is the workout program that I came up with. But how do you actually create your own personalized hybrid athlete program? Because maybe you don't really care about calisthenics, or maybe you don't really care about, Muay Thai. Well, this video is going to explain to you exactly how to create your own personalized hybrid athlete program. And it's all about 4 main steps. And the step number 1, I tell you the truth, is defining your exact goal. Now, the first thing I needed to understand was, what am I actually working on? What do I want to work on? Because for a very long time, I was working on mainly calisthenics, right? Was building a lot of strength, actually also a lot of size, but I felt like something was wrong, because I felt like that wasn't really what I wanted to build only. I didn't want to just be big and strong. I wanted to be healthy, flexible, endurance, strong, and like fit at 360 degrees. Functional, basically. And so just calisthenics was simply not enough for me. So defining my goal really has helped me out a lot, and you should do the same. Like, do you mainly want to work just on muscle mass, or maybe you also want to add endurance? What do you want exactly? Do you also want to be functional, flexible? You want to learn a martial art? What do you want to achieve? That's the first and most important thing you have to define. Now, once you've defined that, you get to step number 2, which is understanding what the optimal frequency to train those things is. Now, from my personal research and from my personal experience, because it's very often also very personal, right? Someone might recover faster from one kind of workouts than someone else. And so what I've seen on myself is that the optimal workout frequency for me, for calisthenics, mainly like weighted calisthenics and strength training, is 3 times a week. So I just do 1 pull workout, 1 push workout, 1 leg workout. And if you do it the right way, you don't isolate, you do compound movements, you put intensity up, and some things that I've already talked about in other videos, where you basically are going to destroy yourself in that 1 session a week, and so you need a whole week to recover basically from it. You're going to be, becoming way stronger every single week, and also building muscle mass. So working just 3 times a week, my strength training is everything I need. The second thing I wanted to be adding was running. And for that, I've seen that for my goals, 2 to 3 times a week is optimal. And what I also have seen is that I want to be working on different kinds of cardio. So I also want to be working on sprints. I want to be working on medium, high intensity, and I want to be working on like zone 2 cardio, which is basically more light, long, kind of like jogging style, where you could basically have a conversation while running. So I want to incorporate those 3 kinds of cardio, and basically that's why I have 2 to 3 runnings per week. Also Muay Thai, I've seen that for me optimal is about 2 to 3 times a week, just once. I feel like 2 times a week is probably optimal. 3 times a week can fit in maybe a little bit too much. So for the moment, I'm just doing 2 times a week. Now, also what I wanted to implement too was learning calisthenics skills. So for that, it really depends, to be really honest. A few skills, you can work them, 2 to 3 times a week. So for example, handstand push-ups, muscle ups, front lever, back lever, whatever, those normal skills. But for things that are more like balance based, like that take less strength but more balance, for example the handstand, that one needs to be worked out 3 to 5 times a week. So it really depends a lot from the skill. And I highly recommend you that if you want to be working on calisthenics, just research what the optimal, frequency to work on that skill is. And then I also incorporate saunas for, the many benefits that they have. There are two main ways in which I would recommend you to do this. Studies show that you either do them quite often, so 3 to 4, 5 times a week, which is actually very beneficial for your cardiovascular health, living longer and those kind of things. But personally, I didn't want to go into the sauna 4 times a week because, that takes a lot of time. And so I already am working out a lot. So I personally have chosen the second path, which is doing it once a week quite heavily. And studies show that if you do that, once a week, more heavy sets, like 3 to 5 sauna sessions, heavy, then you're going to have a crazy increase in growth hormone, which, I'm not going to say no to that. So that's how much I have seen is optimal for me to work out. But there was a big problem. Now that I knew how often I wanted to be doing the different activities, I still had a big problem. And that was that I didn't really know how to combine them. I was there doing my push workout on one day, wanting to do Muay Thai the next day, but still my shoulders were sore as fuck. And then I did leg days, and then the next day I wanted to go for a run, but I couldn't because my legs were destroyed, bro. And so I didn't really know how to put things together. I felt like I was not really progressing a lot in everything. I was either doing more Muay Thai and, forgetting a little bit about my calisthenics, but then I felt like, no, I want to get back to calisthenics, and I was forgetting a little bit more my Muay Thai. And I didn't really know how to mix everything together. And to solve that problem, I did 2 main things. The first thing was basically defining the optimal combinations that I could be working out in the same day. So that is because, as you've probably noticed, if you work out strength training 3 times a week, then you go running 3 or 2 times a week, then you do Muay Thai 2 times a week, sauna once a week, and you also do calisthenics 2 to 3 to 5 times a week, then you simply do not have enough days in the week to do one thing a day. So you have to be combining those things, and every single day I do at least 1 to 2 things. And so the thing that really helped me out a lot was to understand the best combinations. Now, to do that, I did a very simple thing. I've written down exactly the kind of workout and all the kind of combinations that were good with it. So for example, make a very clear example with my own plan. I've seen that I can work my skills, like my pushing skills. So for example, handstand push-ups, 90-degree push-ups with my pull workout, and ideally before, because I want to be fresh. So that's a good combination for me. Running with Muay Thai is also a good combination. I can go running and then I can do Muay Thai. So I can have my lighter run or maybe even my sprints, and then I do some Muay Thai. I've also seen that I can work out any skill before my leg day because, I do leg day, basically work on my lower body, and before that I can do my handstand push-ups, my muscle ups, my front lever. So any kind of skill is good with leg days. I've also seen that I can work out my skills, my calisthenics skills, or I can even go running with saunas. That's a good combination. I can go for a run and then I hop in the sauna. Another combination is basically Muay Thai with handstands. So I could do Muay Thai and then I practice some handstands. So that's what I did. I basically have written down all the activities and all the possible combinations. And the second thing I did was to understand how long I needed to recover from each kind of workout. So for example, for leg days, for at least 2 days, I'm very sore in my legs. So I don't want to be doing any Muay Thai or any heavy running for that time, because I'm not going to be, doing it well, and I'm probably going to maybe injure myself because my muscles are still very sore. I've also seen that one day after my push workout, it's not optimal to work on Muay Thai and martial arts because my shoulders are really sore and I really have a hard time having my hands up and basically throwing punches because of how sore I am. So basically, once you've defined the things you want to be working on and the good combinations, ask yourself, okay, with this kind of workout, how long would I need to recover to have, a workout of a similar muscle group? So for example, I would say that running and Muay Thai, you use legs, right? Also legs, you use legs. For skills, push, pull, even Muay Thai, you use upper body. And so you want to understand exactly how much recovery you need. And it also depends a lot from how much you eat, how much you drink, how much you sleep, and how good you are at handling new kind of loads and new kind of exercises. So it also really depends from you. So I can tell you, maybe I recover 2 days takes me to recover from my leg day, but maybe you're already ready the next day. Could be, right? Or maybe it takes you 4 days, right? So understand exactly how much recovery you need. And the third thing you need to define in order to basically make everything fit in is the right order. On one side during the day and on the other side during the week. Let me explain what I mean. So if you have understood that you can basically pair together your Muay Thai training with your handstand workout, right? You still need to understand in what order you want to do those things. And I highly recommend you to do the handstand training before your Muay Thai, because otherwise you're going to be sore in your shoulders and the quality of your handstand workout, which is all about balance and being fresh when you want to do it, would be impaired. So once you understood the right combinations, also understanding what kind of order you want to do those things. For example, if I do my leg workouts and skill workouts, I obviously always am going to do my skill workout before my leg workout, because after my leg workout, at least I'm quite cooked. And so for my skills, I want to be fresh. Right? So understand the right order for the combinations that you've decided, and then also understand the right order during the week. So let's say that you know that during the weekend you have more time, and you know that you want to be doing your long hike maybe with some family members in the weekend. So you have to adapt for those things. Now you also may know that on Thursday, you don't really have a lot of time. So you just try to fit in the least time expensive workout on that day. You want to understand in what kind of order you can do things. And then what I did was basically, I know it sounds funny, but I basically just tried to think in my mind and put on paper a few combinations. So I tried, okay, what if we do a push on Monday, then Tuesday we do this, then that. No, we have that one which is not very optimal, but what if we then do this other connection? Now I literally spent, maybe 30 minutes thinking about all the connections I could do, and throughout the day, because I had so many thoughts about it, I continuously started coming up with ideas. What if I connect that and that other thing? And in a few hours I basically created my own program without even thinking about it too much. I was literally showering when I came up with the combination that I'm using right now. So you just think about it, you think about the connections, how much recovery, and you start writing down some ideas. Maybe you're already really satisfied with it and you feel like, bro, this is banger. But maybe you will have another idea and you will think to yourself, well, this is even better, right? It will come out of nowhere. So just write it down, and you've literally created your own hybrid athlete program. Now, obviously, it needs to be tested out, and you will see when you try it. Maybe you need more recovery from leg day. Maybe you need a day more after your long run or whatever, right? So just test it out, and you will be able to adapt it with time and just see how well it works, see if it works well for you, see what things you need to change, what things you could adapt, what things you could adjust. And you will see that with time you will be building your perfect workout plan. The thing I want to tell you is that if you actually train this much, you need to be sleeping and eating well. I tell you the truth, this is a mantra that I tell myself over and over again. If you want to train hard, you have to eat and sleep hard. Remember this. Most people, only focus on their workouts. I see them pushing hard in the gym, but then they ask me like, how are you becoming so big and strong so fast while I don't? And I ask them like, how much you sleep? Well, I party and I drink and I sleep 7 hours a night, but should be all right, bro. What about you? Yeah, and I sleep 10 hours. Like, what do you expect, bro? Like, it's literally as simple as that. Sleep is so crucial, especially if you train a lot and really hard. You want to be sleeping hard because your body needs the recovery. You don't build muscle strength, endurance, whatever, while you're working out. You're actually building it while you sleep. So if you want to master your sleep, I already made a video about it. So if you're interested in it, you really want to maximize your gains, your recovery, go and check it out. And you will see that it will totally change your fitness journey.